Hey, Dad. Hank's coming over in a little while. We're going to work around the house today. Crazy old Lush is hiding his liquor everywhere. So you think maybe you could try not to get too drunk today? Maybe wait till at least noon before you start drinking? Vodka?
Headed over to Mike's to help him with his house before it falls in on itself.
Why can't he ever come and help us with our house?
Because I don't want our house to fall in on itself.
Well, he came to my house and ate all my food. His stagnant breath put me in a bad mood. He watched my TV and cranked up my jam. Smoked all my dope, but he didn't give a damn. He's a real asshole. Hey, number one, to flush his head would be so fun. Well, he burned my carpet with his cigarette butts and stank up the kitchen with the parts he cuts. And it pisses me off. I'll never see all the fucking money that he's borrowed from me. He's a real asshole. Hey, number one, flush his head would be so fun. Well, he stepped in dog shit and didn't wipe his feet. Went to my John and peed on my seat. Fire up a joint before he gets here. Here he comes now, better hide all the beer. He's a real asshole. Hey, number one, to flush his head would be so fun. Well, I thought for sure that I'd seen it all, but the next thing you know, he flicked a burger on the wall. He's a real asshole. Hey, number one, to flush his head would be so fun. He's a real asshole. Hey, number one, to flush his head would be so fun.
What's up, Hank? Thanks for coming over and bringing one of the essential ingredients to a healthy diet.
Doesn't the fact that your father's a raging alcoholic make you hate the idea of becoming one? Jeez, why you gotta be such a jerk? You move out of state right after high school, you come back a scant 20 years later, and you've completely changed.
I didn't change, I just grew up. It's not hard to after you've been married to one of the most viral women on the planet.
Okay, you're a mature jerk. But, you know, there's a lot of people whose old lady left them for a lot of other reasons, and they haven't flipped out nearly as much as you, Mr. Tweaker. Besides, how long's it been since you contacted your son, anyway?
Almost 10 years.
10 years? 10 years? What the fuck? How do you go 10 years without speaking to your son just because your wife screwed you around?
You lose your wife and kid to another person, and you recover totally normal, you judgmental asshole. Sorry I didn't run to Maury or Dr. Phil and let them try to solve my problems in front of a national TV audience. Those shows got enough white trash as it is. They don't need another guy from West Virginia laid on a trailer payment with a Marlboro smoking, tube top wearing adulterous spouse.
Are you kidding? That kind of stuff's their bread and butter. You guys would have got killer ratings.
Screw you. It can be harder than you think. Besides, there's a bunch of shit about my marriage that you didn't even know happened.
Really? What, pray tell, have you been keeping from me since you've moved back to West Virginia in the last 6 months here?
Well, it's the circumstances concerning my divorce.
Circumstances?
Not exactly circumstances. It's the guy she left me for. Let's just say he has a unique perspective on life.
Certainly does. He views the top of your wife's head bobbing up and down in his lap.
I seriously doubt it. He's a paraplegic.
A what? You mean nothing works in the nether regions, extra wide bathroom stall kind of paraplegic?
Si, senor.
Why the hell would she do that? Look, I get leaving you because of your higher than normal level of repressed crazy person genes, but for a guy whose dick doesn't work?
I'm still running that one through my brain. I've tried to convince myself that because of all the ripping and tearing that occurs during sex with me that she just didn't want to do it anymore, but the only other thing I can think of is the guy in the wheelchair can lick his own eyebrows.
There are other options in the phone.
I know. I wrote a couple times, but not enough. I know he has my number, and I've never gotten any calls, so I guess he just doesn't want to talk to me. But for when I'm here, he's doing okay in sports and school and everything, but I guess he just doesn't need me around.
She left you for a paraplegic. Sucks you can never retaliate against a guy like that.
What do you mean? Exactly why not?
You can't wait for the guy outside the physical therapy office and start pummeling him about the head and shoulders as he heads down the access ramp.
And I repeat, exactly why not?
Seriously, you're going to try to justify beating a paraplegic?
If he's man enough to steal my wife, he should be man enough to deal with the consequences of his actions.
Jesus, how could you hit a guy in a wheelchair?
You gotta hit the wheel brake right before you clock him. He may spin around, but he ain't going nowhere.
I'm not talking about the physics of keeping someone on a frictionless plane close to you after you punch them. I'm talking about the morality of hitting a paraplegic.
I guess it wouldn't look too good on a resume, beating an invalid.
And you wonder why your wife took your child and left you. Let's get started on the gutters.
Where the hell is that woman at? And Sue? Kids? And Sue? My angel oven. She left me. Could've took that damn dog with her. Can you see who's calling?
Says Pete's Gas and Goods.
Ignore it. It's my brother. He hadn't had a phone in over 3 years. So he has to go down and use the one at that store.
Is he still living in that trailer in the woods?
Yep. He resides there with his wife and 5 kids. It's probably one of the little miscreants' birthdays and he's calling Dad to find his present. He's gonna have a hard time getting Dad's attention now, though.
How's that?
Dad discovered the internet a few weeks ago. And he's just as addicted to that as he is single malt scotch and nicotine.
How does an 82-year-old man become introduced to the internet?
My neighbor's kid's the president of the high school computer club. And a while back they had a charity drive where they had to sponsor an elderly person to get them a computer and get them online.
Yeah, it's nice to see today's youth being active in the community.
Yeah, too bad Dad perverted the premise, both figuratively and literally.
How so?
All he's done since day one is use it to watch deviant porn.
And how the hell would you know that?
He brags about it. The other day he came to me explaining how hot and hard midget chick with dick videos made him.
Excuse me?
Okay, sorry, Mr. Politically Correct. It titillates him to observe little people transgendered adult fare.
What? No, asshole. I mean, how does an 82-year-old even manage to perform physically?
Oh, well, besides porn, he's discovered the ease of getting an online prescription for erectile dysfunction medication. I haven't been back in the computer room since.
Curse your neighbors and their geeky daughter's philanthropic efforts.
The kid's okay, really. Actually, she's going to come over later and take a look at my laptop in the garage. It's been acting kind of weird lately. And besides, I think she has a crush on me. I caught her taking a picture of me Thursday night, maybe for a scrapbook or something.
Is that why you have me over here today? To spruce up your house so you can impress the youth with your manly efforts? You're crazy if you think I'm going to sit idly by while you play the part of the Penn State linebacker coach, living out all your pedophilic desires with the neighborhood youth.
She's 18, you sick bastard. Besides, I got you over here to help me clear my conscience about another decision I'm about to make. I've almost come to the conclusion that my family and I just aren't compatible. seriously considering just moving out of here and heading back west. I just want the house to be in as good a shape as it can if I decide to leave.
No way. Your dad's getting sick, and he needs all the help he can get.
I'll come back if things really get bad. I'm not that big of a dick. It's just the combination of this town, his illness, my brother. It's just too toxic for me to deal with. If I don't get out of here, I'll join Dad in the loony bin.
Look, don't jump to any hasty decisions. Let's just see how this all plays out before you make a call like that. I'm gonna go to the garage and get started on the lawnmower blade.
Here, order a pizza for us, me lovers. Back here, Joe. What the hell's wrong with you?
It's Emma Sue. Man, she wants to build a new room onto the trailer, but the only way the state will pay for something like that is if we have a sixth kid.
Well, you already got 5. What's one more?
Because that'll make 6. I just can't do 6. I mean, I'm still pretty young. If I have another kid, the path of my life is going to be set in stone.
What are you talking about? You're basically a ward of the state. You have a truck that will barely pass inspection. You dropped out of high school at 16, refused to take the GED. What kind of options do you really think you have?
I apologize for having such a sweet, high-paying job in high school. Hell, I was making more money than Dad when I quit.
Yeah, that ended up well, didn't it? You were a VCR repairman. And when everybody changed to DVD, you refused to switch. Your boss was going to even upgrade your skills, and you refused.
You know nothing about nothing, you loser. Tape is the ultimate medium. I'll never lower myself to that damn ones and zeros digital bullshit. I'm an analog man, and you know it!
I got enough on my plate today without dealing with this. You need to vent. Talk to Dad. I'm done.
I can't believe you've never sharpened the blade on your lawnmower.
I just never had to, really. I always lived in an apartment or in the barracks when I was in the military.
So you're going to use your lack of lawn ownership as a basis for your lack of mechanical ability?
I've just never had a reason to learn. I don't avoid work. On the contrary, I embrace it.
So you enjoy hard work?
Well, it's not that I aspired to be a ditch digger from the time I was a kid or anything. But if the job calls for physical labor, I don't mind breaking a sweat.
I'm not talking about taking a shit. I'm talking about, like, getting some work done.
Ha, asshole. I'm saying that I have as a part of my overall personality a noble but dying trait.
What, you're the bastion of fortitude and American work ethic? You're more like a redneck in a camo hat talking about get her done.
No, that's my brother. I'm talking about the work ethic that was present in our generation. That's just a memory in today's society. You remember Angela Morris from high school?
Yeah, student council president?
Yeah. I saw her the other day at the grocery store, and she's done pretty good for herself. She's the regional manager for Mr. Berger.
That's cool.
She said she could barely get enough people to cover all the positions she has available. So she decided to try to start hiring some older people with ethics and morality. But they just wanted to sign off on their unemployment paperwork so they can keep the checks rolling in.
Can we tie this back into your lawnmower blade? For I reckon I need to split your head open with it.
What I'm trying to convey to you is that I'm willing to put in the effort that's no longer present in today's workforce. I've never had to maintain and service the lawnmower, but it's not so far below me that I won't learn it. Angela also told me that when she manages to finally hire someone, they act like they're owed something for showing up to be humiliated at a part-time job. Nobody takes pride in what they do anymore.
Jesus, Grandpa. You're officially old now. Why don't you just start sitting on the front porch whittling and complaining about all these kids and their dang newfangled cell phones?
All right then, smart guy. How long do you think it's been since I ordered that pizza? I'd say it's been at least an hour ago. It's not like I live on Crazy Street or something. That guy's probably on his cell phone right now complaining to his pot dealer about having to deliver pizzas and not being able to give out the daily allowance of his spit. I see a big fat 0 in the future of that guy's tip.
Speaking of the worthless layabout,
Sorry it took so long, guys. I had to stop by the house and drop some medicine off for the kid. It's hard to find the hours in the day to be a dad when you work 2 jobs, go to school full time.
What are you going to school for?
Mechanical engineering.
Damn, that's an interesting path correction at your stage in life.
I chose that discipline so I could stay as self-sufficient as possible. I mean, I'd hate to waste a friend's weekend because I was too stupid to sharpen a lawnmower blade or something. Oh, and since I made sure your pizza was packed full of the daily recommended allowance of my love, I'm certain you'll insist that I keep the change.
Sure. Heck yeah. Take it.
I just spent $20 on a pizza that'll never get eaten.
So, were you able to keep your opinion of the reliability of today's minimum wage employee to yourself, or do I need to check my food for who knows what type of human ejaculate?
We better check. But not right now. My neighbor's kid's on her way over here in a minute to take a look at my laptop. And by the way, I was never seriously interested in taking advantage of her crush on me. It's just been a long time since I've had any attention like that. Even if it is just teenage infatuation.
Fine, but if I hear any rhythmic slapping coming from the shower, I'm doing the right thing and calling the police.
Mr. Hendershot, it's Dolores.
Come on in, Dolores.
This is the Togashi X2612. Usually a very dependable model.
Dolores, this is my friend Hank Starcher. We've been friends since back in high school, and we've been hanging out a little ever since I've been back.
It's a pleasure, Mr. Starcher. Right now I am searching Mr. Hendershot's computer for any viruses or Trojan horses with a special antivirus/defragging program that I created last Friday night.
Sounds like an interesting way to spend a Friday evening, Dolores.
I require less than 3 hours sleep per night, Mr. Starcher. You see, I enjoy creating new procedures and methods and putting them into action. This usually entails long hours at my workstation, which sometimes falls on a Friday night. Yes, I know it is a standard night of revelry in American culture, but my schedule only allows for entertainment on Tuesday evenings and Thursday mornings. Definitely a Trojan horse of some kind. Looks to be encrypted. This may take a while.
So, are Thursday night paparazzi sessions considered purely business?
I was meaning to apologize for that, Mr. Hendershot. It must be odd to find someone taking pictures of you.
No need, Dolores. I understand. I was young once, too.
Really, unless I'm mistaken, the internet was not around in your youth, Mr. Hendershot.
What do you mean?
To be quite honest, Mr. Hendershot, I took the photo to cross-reference it against the National Sexual Predator Database on the internet.
What? Why?
There aren't too many middle-aged men forced to move back in with their father. Your lack of achievement can be attributed to several things. One of those things being sexual deviance. With my young, firm, tempting flesh living next door to you, I thought it would be appropriate to check.
You're a smart girl, Dolores. I'm surprised you didn't find anything else in that database.
Well, there isn't a meth lab in here, so drug dealing is out, and he doesn't receive nearly enough female callers to be a womanizer. But with the large amount of beer cans I see in the recycling bin on trash day, I'd wager alcoholism is probably going to prove to be a large part of the deciding factor. Okay, that erased the Trojan horse. Now let's find the file it originated from and erase that one as well.
Hey, I'll have you know, I'm taking care of my father, who's in the early stages of Alzheimer's.
But my research did uncover a strange conflict of personality characteristics, though.
What was that?
That he didn't have the most standard tool of social media interaction, a Facebook account, but it appears he does take considerable time and effort to reach out socially via the internet by means that some would deem sad and pathetic. I've located several profiles in obscure dating sites that belong to Mr. Hendershot, usually with the profile name of Captain Cuddles. Apparently Mr. Hendershot enjoys dinners at home and antiquing.
There's a lot of money to be made if you know what to look for.
Did you say he didn't have a Facebook account?
That is very observant, Mr. Starcher, since I had recently moved his father into the internet age.
Thank you very much for that, by the way.
I thought I'd take the next technological step with Mr. Hendershot that a lot of middle-aged people tend not to make. I've introduced him into the world of social media.
I didn't know it was a law you had to have a Facebook account. Besides, who wants to contact me?
You'd be surprised, Mr. Hendershot. Here, I've written down your username and password. Just check out the site, and if you don't like it, you can delete the account. Boy, whoever made this horse is a bad mama jama. Tough to trace. Another reason that I came over was to talk to you about your father's recent strange behaviors, which now makes some sense with the recent details that have come to light about his Alzheimer's.
What strange behaviors?
Last Wednesday night, I awoke with a tickling in my throat that required a drink of water. Upon arriving to the bathroom sink, I heard quite a ruckus coming from the shrubbery outside.
A ruckus? What's a ruckus sound like?
I first heard the cackling of unbridled joy coming from an elderly man. Then the ear-piercing squall of what I can only hope was a cat. Running outside, my olfactory senses were greeted with the lingering aromas of scotch and a 100-year-old ashtray.
A positive ID of the old man if I've ever heard one. Sorry, Dolores. Tell your parents I'll try to keep him on a shorter leash.
My program finally found the file with the Trojan horse. It was embedded in a video file downloaded 9 days ago, titled Interracial Man-on-Man Cum Shots, the Greatest Loads?
Oh, and remember, we need to get some two-stroke oil for your weed whacker, not lubrication for you and your black whacker buddy.
Not a fucking word.
What's up his ass?
It's not so much what's up his ass, but rather the lack of what's in his ass.
You always was a weird dude, Hank. Man, ever since he moved back here, he's got this damn superiority complex or something. Just 'cause he's traveled to different places with different customs, man, he thinks he's better than me or something. Hell, I've been to different places with completely different cultures and societies.
Where did you ever live besides here?
North Carolina. I was living in this little town just outside of Raleigh, Durham. I had to move down there after DVD came out here, and nobody was needing my VCR repair abilities. But my business flourished a lot longer down there because of all the Mexicans.
How does someone's ethnicity and race determine their preference in media format?
Well, because all Mexicans are poor, and the price of DVDs were too high for them to afford. So, obviously, I was able to keep my business going a lot longer down there because they were needing me to fix all those junk VCRs.
That's borderline racist, Joe. Come on, you're better than that.
There ain't nothing racist about being poor. Hell, I'm poor now, man. But the worst thing about Mexican men is, they all beat their wives.
You can't say that, Joe. That has definitely crossed a line and became a racist comment.
Fine, you big faggot. Let me say it politically correct as not to be labeled a bigot. Most Mexican men I know beat their wives.
Joe, a racist statement is one where you base another person's personality traits or behavior on their race.
It's not racist. Wife beating's just a part of the Mexican male's culture. Man, I'm starving. I'm so hungry I could pick the corn out of Dolly Parton's shit. What'd you guys have for lunch?
There's a whole meat lover's pizza in on the workbench. I gotta go inside and take a leak. Have at it.
Sweet!
I thought I recognized your boyfriend's car.
I'm glad you don't know how appropriate that put down is right now, Emma Sue. And what the hell's going on with you and my brother Joe?
How in the hell are you supposed to help? You don't know nothing about no woman. Your wife left you for a limp-dick cripple. Shit, it ain't even none of your business.
Then why the hell don't you leave me alone?
'Cause you got to give me some info about the state of my husband's mind.
We're talking about Joe here. I don't think I've ever known him to be in a completely rational state of mind. Hell, I don't even think you could call him legally conscious half the time.
What I need to know about asshole is what are his intentions for me and the kids? We're both still pretty young, so we have the liberty of pursuing goals we had before we were married.
You two drive me fucking crazy. You have 5 kids. Don't you see how the obligations to your children kind of dictate the direction of your lives, regardless of your ages?
Believe me, my children are my #1 priority, honey. Besides, the bottom line is, shut the fuck up! I love every fiber of my children's beings. That's why I need to know what's going on with Joe. I've already made a plan to move into the workforce if he don't want to make another bundle of loving with me. I mean, the life Joe and me had together, it was okay, but I wanted to move up a notch or two on the ladder of success and display our achievements by building an add-on to the trailer. I still have those dreams, but now I'm going to have to do it myself.
What career paths have you been looking into?
I'm way past the looking stage. I've already been hired at the new topless barbecue joint, the Sloppy Hog. I get to start next week.
Do you think that's advisable? I mean, you do have custody of the kids.
The manager advised me they could stay in the dry storage room during my shifts. Besides, with all that free pork barbecue coming my way, the kids are going to grow up healthy and strong.
Before you make any life-changing vocational decisions, I think you better talk to Joe. He's up at Dad's right now.
Whatever. I left him, remember? He needs to come to me. Hell, I'm probably better off without him. I do like the Hendershot bloodline as far as baby making is concerned, though. My 5 angels are a testament to the genetic superiority of your seed. Maybe after all this blows over, I could clean me out a pickle jar and you could do me a favor and fill it up with some of that Hendershot angel batter. Then I could steal me a turkey baster from the Sloppy Hog and do the job myself. Then I'd have me my 6th baby, and they'd all still look alike, and no one would think I was a whore or a freak or nothing.
I gotta go inside to get some lubrication to Jack. I mean, just go talk to my brother, please.
Hey, Dolores, you got a minute? I'm sure you'd like an explanation of what occurred in the garage earlier.
Really? It's okay, Mr. Starcher. I'm not your usual scatterbrained teenager. I've done extensive research on the sexual tendencies of the American male. I really didn't want to believe what I found out today, but after debugging Mr. Hendershot's computer, it seems my results have been confirmed.
Confirmed about what?
That all men are pigs, regardless of their age.
All men.
I apologize for the broad generalization, but yes, Mr. Starcher, you are swine. You see, even though your sex drive decreases significantly as you age, the amount of time you think about sex is usually double that of your female counterpart.
That can't be true in every case.
Granted, but if you think of the male's sexual perverseness as the broad spectrum of degradation and humiliation that it is, it's easy to see how you all can easily be measured and graded based on each individual male's level of the creepy guy in a trench coat factor.
Okay, you've got my attention now. Continue.
It doesn't matter if a male is into hardcore interracial gay sex or heterosexual sex only in the missionary position. It's all he will think about. The level of depravity isn't actually correlated to the amount of sex he really wants.
So, why don't you find a guy that's not a complete sexual freak?
That's my whole point, Mr. Starcher. I will never be able to find a man who isn't a freak in comparison with my sex drive. I find these truths to be so disappointing that I'm seriously considering celibacy as a way of life.
Don't think like that, Dolores. I'm sure someday someone will come along and you'll have a completely successful relationship.
I already have a boyfriend, Mr. Starcher. His sexual appetites were the first ones I investigated in my studies.
My favorite pants.
Forgive me if I seem a bit confused, Dolores, but if you're already in a successful relationship, where does all your indecision about it come from?
Let me give you a little background info on my boyfriend, Mr. Starcher. Being the computer club vice president, his choices for female companionship are extremely limited. I thought that his lack of options in the romantic realm would cause him to be a little different when it came to handling an intimate relationship. But as soon as he conquered his territory, the standard male traits began to appear. Jealousy, possessiveness, macho dominance, you name it.
Listen, Dolores, you're both very young, and you're dealing with experiences and desires that you've never really had to deal with before. Think of it as doing research in the area of adulthood.
So, if I act like an adult when I break up with him, I should get an attorney and demand alimony so my new boyfriend, who is 15 years my junior, and I can have a Caribbean vacation on his dime.
Seriously, though, Dolores, you don't have to take such a hard stance on the whole thing. I mean, you have decades left before you become this disenfranchised over the whole process. Besides, you give your guy another shot, and I'll bet the bank that he proves all your predetermined notions about the male sex to be unfounded.
My love of engineering forces me to look at the data, Mr. Starcher, but the romantic in me wants to ignore it and go with my heart. All indicators point to my previous conclusions, but maybe I should give romance one more chance.
That a girl, Dolores. Trust me. Everything will work out.
I hope you are correct, because if I have to be subjected to a large dose of the disgusting world of the male mind again, I will end all current and future intimate relationships of any kind.
Just keep your chin up.
Well, thanks for the talk, Mr. Starcher. I better get this trash to the curb and start on some homework.
See you later, Dolores.
Come on, get out of there. Come on, baby, get out of there for daddy.
Damn, Liberace. Took you long enough. What were you doing, getting some rhinestones for that jumpsuit?
Settle down. I can prove I didn't download that video. I think my dad was out here screwing around with my computer again.
If you start extracting DNA from that keyboard, I'm going to throw this hamburger out.
I can prove that video wasn't mine by admitting to the fact that I have seen gay porn in the past.
Okay, now I am going to throw up this burger and leave. Why the hell would you be watching gay porn?
Well, you know.
No, I don't know.
Well, my luck with women was so bad for so long that I wasn't even sure I was supposed to be with the fairer sex. In the beginning stages of any relationship, I would just immediately try to end it. It was almost involuntary, like reflex.
So after watching the video, you rush down to the gay bar to find out how strong your gag reflex is.
Shut up. Watching that video made me feel uncomfortable on so many different levels.
Besides feeling homesick, how so?
Well, you know I love watching the original Star Trek series. And Spock is my favorite character.
If you tell me to live long and prosper, I am going to throw up this burger, I'm going to give a geek a wedgie, and I'm going to leave.
Anyway, what I saw was highly illogical. I knew the guys in the video were having fun, but I couldn't understand why. It looked more uncomfortable than fun to me. And any self-respecting Vulcan would have beamed out of there.
So, what you're saying is you were so repulsed by what you saw on the tape that now you're anti-gay.
No, it's quite the contrary, actually. I started to think about gay people growing up in our era. They had to go through adolescence feeling like I did when I saw that video.
What do paper routes and playing sandlot football have to do with gay porn?
You remember in junior high when Steve Szybski found one of his dad's porno tapes and we all spent the night over his house and watched it?
Yeah, is that 70s porno? Way too sweaty and hairy for my taste.
Maybe now, but that night in 1985, you were transfixed to that screen. It didn't matter if that girl wasn't your cup of tea. You watched it and you gulped it down and asked for more.
Yeah, but I was a teenage kid. I had so many hormones pumping through my body, I had to practically carry a book around at all times to keep camouflaging the tent I was pitching.
What would you have thought if that video played that night was gay porn?
Well, I could have lost the book for the evening. I never would have accepted a ride from Steve's dad again either.
Well, what if everyone else thought it was awesome and stayed glued to the set? And then after you left, you found out that the norm in society was really homosexual sex.
Okay, I get the analogy. I know. Gay people are forced to live in a society who's unwilling to accept their lives. Boy, you sure have become empathetic to the gay people's plight in your travels, Grasshopper.
It's not that I've become more empathetic to the plight of gay people. I've just become less tolerant of ignorant people. Like my family in this town. If I would have had this conversation with anybody else, they would have been all faggot this and faggot that. The gay bashing jokes. And I never would have got my point across. Speaking of my family, where the hell is my brother?
He said he wasn't feeling that great after lunch and wanted to go home to use the throne. Home field advantage, I guess. He said that he needed to help Emma Sue pack up, too.
It just seems to me that people who are bigots just lead such jacked up lives that they gotta talk shit on people, anybody who's different, to feel justified about who they are.
So says the man who just called his brother a bigoted asshole. Look, I gotta get out of here for a little bit. Go grab some stuff to store for the old lady. I'll be back in a little while.
All right, man. I'll see you in a bit.
Dude, you gotta talk to your wife. She's gone over the edge. She got a job down at the Sloppy Hog. She's slathering people's ribs with her tits hanging out.
Damn, she got a job as a waitress? I thought maybe she barely had enough talent to be a hostess, but a waitress?
You approve of this behavior?
Hell no. I can't compete with the high-class clientele of the Sloppy Hog. Shit, she'll find her a man in no time. Next thing you know, she'll have her sixth baby with or without my angel batter.
Calm down, Joe. I'm sure you'll be able to win her back.
How? Guys will be giving her singles, asking to make their sauce extra spicy. I bet they all got cars that'll pass inspection. Probably got landlines. Cell phones probably too. Oh man, how am I supposed to compete against a slew of Prince Charmings like that?
Listen.
To what? A guy who hasn't had a serious relationship in years tell me how to win back a woman as fine as my wife? You need to get over yourself, man. Okay, smart guy. Tell me what I'm supposed to do when she comes home to me, pregnant from another man's seed.
You could always raise it as your own.
What? And have one of my angels not look like the others? You've lost your mind.
Well, there's always the option of abortion.
Blasphemy! Blasphemy! Jesus loves all his babies. Doesn't matter if they're illegitimate or not.
Seriously, you're going to try pawning off on me that you're a Christian.
Pawn off on you? I'm not trying to pay the electric bill here. I'm talking about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
So you, Emma Sue, and the kids are all devout followers of the teachings of Jesus Christ?
Hell yeah. We attend church every Easter and Christmas. Well, Christmas it depends, though. If both teams playing in the football game have an above 500 record, then we stay home and watch the game. Jesus understands. It's so close to the playoffs and all.
All right, then. Does Jesus love unborn babies that are gay?
For somebody who thinks they know so much, you don't know shit. Babies aren't born gay. They're made that way, manipulated by the media. Remember when we were kids? It starts from youth. I mean, remember the Teletubbies? There's that pink one, and he had that big triangle on its head. It even carried a purse. Don't even get me started on Mr. Rogers, though.
Mr. Rogers? He was one of the most sincere and kind people ever to grace a cathode ray tube. How did he manipulate children into a deviant lifestyle?
Damn, dude. Read between the lines. How could a brother of mine be so ignorant? There's no way a straight guy would own that many cardigan sweaters. And why the hell do you have to put on sweaters and slippers every time you come home from work anyways? And why does he have a train trolley set in his house? You know that pedophiles use toys to attract kids so they can molest them.
So all children's programming is geared to manipulate them into deviant lifestyles.
Not all, but most.
Scooby-Doo?
Those Scooby snacks had to be laced with something.
Dora the Explorer.
It promotes tolerance for illegal aliens.
iCarly.
It teaches teens how to surf the internet, leaving them vulnerable to predator attacks.
Thundercats.
Well, they're half cat and half human, so obviously there's been some bestiality in their lineage.
Jesus help us.
Oh, the black sheep trying to get back in the flock. It's going to take a lot more than that to get back into the good graces of Jesus Christ. I better be seeing you down at church next Easter.
Seems to me that if Emma Sue's as much a Christian as you, she'll leave her sinful job and be back home just in time for next year's egg hunt.
Now that she's reached the pinnacle of her God-given abilities, I can't ask her to give up her career, no matter how threatened I feel by her upward mobile status. I'm a man of compromise, my brother. Maybe she'll reciprocate my good nature by maybe switching to part-time from full-time.
Man, do I have a headache. You can watch whatever you want. I'm gonna go inside and check on Dad.
Hello, sir. My name is Stanley Fordyce. I'm from the County Census Board. Do you have time for a few questions?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Are you the man of the house?
No, well, yeah, but no, there are two men that live here.
Oh, I see. I'd like to let you know we're trying to open our eyes to alternative lifestyles in our community.
What? No, I live here with my father.
Oh, it's nice to see children taking their elderly parents into their homes in their twilight years.
Well, I actually moved in with him.
It must be hard taking care of two households and your father.
I don't have another home. I just live here with my dad.
I see. So what is the income of your household?
Dad has his SSI and a very small pension.
You're not employed?
I've only been back 6 months. I just do some odd jobs around the neighborhood for the elderly to help contribute.
Okay, let me get this straight. Our new resident is an unemployed middle-aged male who lives off the meager income of his ailing father and the money he can take from our elderly residents. Smells like you've already had about a six-pack, and it's just after 12 o'clock. Welcome to the neighborhood.
What? Ass. How many fucking hats do you own?
Excuse me if I like to express myself with a variety of different cranium covers. Damn, man. I just don't get you. Just because you went away for a while and you experienced a different world, you think you're better than everybody else or something. Well, let me give you some news, little brother. You ain't better than anybody else.
Maybe I'm not better, but I can guarantee I'm more respectful than you.
Whatever. I respect everybody.
What? Unless they look, act, or speak differently than you.
I don't know what you were talking about.
Okay, how many times when we were a kid did you just dig a hole so you could put me in it and bury me up to my neck?
Whatever. We were just having fun as kids.
It occurred on at least a monthly basis.
All right, if you weren't having so much fun, then why did you play it with me so much?
You threatened to bash my head in with the shovel if I didn't get into the hole. The last time you did it, you would have left me there all night if Dad hadn't realized I wasn't at dinner.
God, is this why you're so upset? Just because we played in the dirt as kids?
That's just one of the many transgressions you've committed against this family. Let's go back to May 28th, 2005. Where were you that night?
Don't start this shit, Mike.
On the evening of May 28th, 2005, our mother took her final breath, and she used it to call your name. Why didn't you hear it, Joe?
Fuck you, Mike.
Why didn't you hear it, Joe?
Fuck you, Mike.
You didn't hear it because you were in Charleston at the Civic Center at a monster truck rally. You didn't respect your mother enough to be there in her final moments.
I did respect her by going. Bigfoot and Truckosaurus were there. Those two legends of extreme motorsports haven't been in the same venue in over 8 years. She bought me those tickets for the kids months in advance. And before she came bedridden, she insisted that we go.
You're trying to tell me that missing your mother's death is justified if you're attending a truck rally.
I repeat, Bigfoot and Truckosaurus at the same venue.
That's it. As soon as I'm done taking care of Dad, I'm leaving this cold, dead town. I'm never coming back.
Well, fuck you too, little brother. No wonder your wife took your son and left you.
Hey, got you some of those gutter guards so you won't have to be cleaning them out all the time.
Cool. Thanks. Why can't the world just be more like Star Trek? And we wouldn't even need things like nylon net to put over the gutters.
So you think in the Star Trek world they're going to put transporters in the gutters so you can beam the leaves to your garbage and never have to touch them?
Don't be ridiculous. They would never spend that much time and energy on gutter maintenance. They would probably have an energy field over the gutter that would only allow moisture to pass, and like leaves and debris would fall harmlessly to the ground, much like the deflector shields on the Enterprise.
Jeez, you really are ate up with that Star Trek utopian world bullshit, aren't you?
Why not? Makes more sense in today's societal standards. Today, the majority of people do things based on the amount of money they will receive for their actions. In Star Trek world, they did things because they were interested in them, and because they wanted to be the best person they could be. They didn't strive for a new car in the driveway. They did things that transformed them positively into a better human. My life would have been 100% better if I was born 200 years from now.
You wouldn't have gotten a girl pregnant so early in life and destroyed your relationship with your son if you were born in the future.
Nope. They already understand the functioning of the human body. They understand that desires are just random hormones and proteins floating through our bloodstream, making our brains act irrationally. Sex is recognized for what it is, an act of reproduction. I, on the other hand, thought it was a rite of passage. I thought it's what you had to do to be, accepted. If I didn't have all these preconceived notions of what a man's supposed to be programmed into my brain, I would have been a completely different person.
Whatever. You're making horrible excuses for your inadequacies.
No, I'm not. They had their shit together. You can't be a mindless hard-on if your goal is to search the galaxy for strange new life forms and boldly go where no man has gone before.
So you're saying you would have never been with a girl if you were born in the future, and you would just spend all your time traipsing around the galaxy trying to stay out of the neutral zone?
I'm not saying I never would have married. Instead, if I did, it would have been for the right reasons.
Anybody with any sense would live like that in the future.
I believe so, yes.
Bullshit. James T. Kirk was the biggest man whore I can remember growing up. He probably used up all the women on Earth and had to move out in the galaxy just to get laid.
What? You've got a bad memory, sir.
Do I? If I remember correctly, he shared the first interracial on-screen kiss with Lieutenant Uhura. He also partook in the first instance of interspecies relations as well. He made out with so many different colored chicks, I can't even remember. He could not control his libido. What did they have on the Enterprise? Super penicillin or something? Or maybe a compartment inside the tricorder to hide condoms in. If I was with a green chick, I would definitely rap the rascal. Besides, it wouldn't have mattered anyway because everything would have came crashing down around you.
Why is that?
Your idol's original captain?
Fuck you.
Wasn't Spock's first boss Captain Pike in a wheelchair?
Fuck you.
With his sleek black motorized chair, your wife would have been helpless to his charming demeanor and witty repartee. Captain Pike, do you come here often? Beep, beep. Ooh, with all those scars and that tough guy persona. I bet you could teach a bad girl like me a lesson. Beep. And then, some 20-odd years later, you can run into the sun you never knew you had on some cave in some distant moon somewhere.
Let's go in the house. I need a stiff one. A stiff drink, that is, asshole. Hey, guys, did the city order the property line staked out here or something?
No, actually, your neighbor did. They actually just phoned it in an hour or two ago. We finished up our scheduled job in the area and had some time for it.
Hey, is that thing operating by itself?
It actually works in conjunction with us. Coolest thing we have, though, is our GPS. You can pinpoint your location within an inch using satellites orbiting miles above us in space.
Oh, that's cool. I love the fact that as man advances in technology, it brings us closer to the future I desire.
You'll have to excuse my friend. He's been waiting for the coming of an age that resembles the original Star Trek series. He believes in it more than most people believe in the second coming of Christ.
Star Trek as a possible system for our future civilization is an unlikely possibility.
Excuse me? You just made mention of the technological wonders at your disposal. That's an obvious step towards men traversing the galaxy in search of life.
Once the singularity occurs, there'll be no need for man to travel the universe in tin cans.
Singularity?
It's a term borrowed from physics. It means when the model breaks down. In technological terms, it refers to a time when man will have to be mechanically enhanced just to keep up with the speed of advancing technology.
So we'll be like half man, half machine?
Maybe. There are many possibilities. The brain isn't just a random firing of synapses. It's a complex computation of electrical and chemical signals that happen in everybody's body.
So how does that stop people from traveling in space?
Well, let me explain further. If the brain's function is a computation, then its code can be cracked. As medical technologies keep expanding, we understand more and more about how the human body works, so naturally, someday we'll be able to figure out the computation that is the essence of who we are.
I still don't understand how this will keep people from exploring the galaxy.
If our brain functions can be mapped out and transferred into a repeatable program, then the stimuli we interact with can be transferred into a repeatable code as well. We'll be able to be plugged into a computer and have situations and activities pumped into our brains. We'll have all the sensation of being there, while safely at home in our easy chairs, free from any harm. Right there. You're going to have to get used to the fact that what defines us as a species is going to change. We'll probably spend most of our time living in virtual worlds of our liking. We'll be able to transform ourselves in any shape or look we want. Hell, even a person's gender won't be able to be truly defined in a virtual world. Everybody will have the ability to appear either male or female.
That's so gross. That's just not right. It's artificial. You can't deny that the stimulus you're receiving isn't real. What are you going to do when some freak tries to hack into your brain or the brain of one of your family members?
Whether or not the stimulus you're receiving is real will be up to an individual's personal beliefs. And as far as keeping freaks and weirdos out of your virtual world, I imagine it'd be easy as turning on and off your interaction with them like a switch. It's a lot harder in the real world. First you have to have a surveyor come and stake out the property line. Then you have to have a contractor give you an appraisal before he comes and builds the 8-foot privacy fence. All this to keep out your freaky, porn-addicted neighbor.
Douchebag.
Roger that.
I'll be in the garage. Why don't you get the scotch?
Your brother called. Said he'd be over in a few minutes to work things out with you. Sounds like he's in a very forgiving mood.
Isn't that the icing on the cake? He's in the mood to forgive me, the scourge of the Mid-Ohio Valley, found it in his heart to exonerate his little brother for crimes committed against the Redneck Nation. Fuck him and his goddamn misguided, merciful nature. I swear, if this day continues to stack shit around me like it has been, I'll suffocate on feces before sundown.
Relax, man. No one is taking a dump on you.
Are you kidding me? The entire universe is using me as a porta-john.
Slow down, cowboy. You should lay off the hard stuff a little before you talk to your brother there. You need to calm down a little.
Calm down? I'm more in touch with my surroundings than I have been in years. I'm gonna go find a bunch of junk cars and put them up on cinder blocks in the yard and tie a dog to each one. Let's not forget about making a pretty little flower garden out of a bunch of painted used tires out there. My family tree never branched as it grew out of a pile of garbage and refuse that the state of Virginia let go of after the Civil War. My heritage is linked to a cesspool of
racism, addiction, and ignorance. You tell me to calm down.
I'm assuming that's your brother. Just stay calm, and everything will be all right.
I'm too tired to get angry at him now. I'm just too damn tired.
My dear brother, I come bearing good tidings.
Last time I heard you say that, my head was submerged in a toilet bowl a short while later, trying to make me kiss the tidings bowl man.
There you go again, bringing up stuff from when we was kids. We have both progressed so much since then.
I told you it was a waste of time. He ain't worth us spending another second away from our love den and our extensive collection of oils and lotions, baby.
Now, Muffin Top, we must be the rational ones here.
Rational? You guys are the rational ones? The people that have a washing machine but still take their clothes to the laundromat are more rational than me.
We care about the environment, little brother. We take our clothes there so we don't use that much water at the house. That way, we make the earth a greener place.
Enough already. I accept your good tidings. Just may I please return to the construction of a screaming hangover?
That's it. I'm gonna jump out of this van and kick his worthless ass.
Now there, Muffin Top. Remember what the preacher said last Easter about flipping the other cheek? What we're actually here to do, brother, is to announce the next entrant into the Angel Hall of Fame.
You agreed on having another kid? What changed your mind?
Well, I just realized it. Shut the fuck up. We just have so much love to give as a family that it would be selfish of me not to share the love with my beautiful life.
You're okay with this, Emma Sue? You seemed awfully sure about starting your new career.
Hey, we're a loving and caring family that doesn't mind changing our desires to make our loved ones happy.
That's right, Sugar Pumpkin. Heck, we're going to be the Brady Bunch of the new millennium. When we have our sixth kid, if it comes out with dark hair, we're going to name it Bobby, Peter, or Greg. And if it has blonde hair, we're going to name it Jan, Cindy, or Marcia.
But what if it has dark hair and it's a girl?
Wait a second. Are you trying to call our yet-to-be-conceived unborn future child a queer?
No, I'm just saying, never mind. You guys were about to split up earlier today. Are you sure your relationship is strong enough for another kid?
Just because you ain't had strength enough to hold your family together doesn't mean we can't. Ain't nothing gonna tear us apart. Unless he burn up all my stuff or something like that. Now it's time for us to go home and whip us up a fresh batch of angel batter.
What the?
What the hell happened to you?
What, this? This is just the hand of fate bitch slapping me for moving back here. That's it. I'm done. I'm moving out of here as soon as possible. You've been here all day, Hank. You've seen what happens when I try to work out my problems with these Neanderthals. My brother is getting ready to have his sixth baby with his topless, barbecue-slinging wife. My father's daily ambitions are to get as drunk as he can, and then watch as much hardcore porn as possible before he passes out. The neighbors are searching the sexual predator database for my mugshot. What am I supposed to do? I mean, they basically abandoned me. For years. I never received any letters or phone calls after I left. I always felt like I was alone out there. You expect me to start having normal conversations with these people after they treated me with like such shit? There's not anyone with enough fortitude and compassion to respect others who have slighted them with such regularity. Superheroes are fictitious characters, Hank.
Got a message on Facebook.
Zach?
I'll leave you alone. I think you've got some writing to do. Don't worry, I'll get that.
When we were younger, I think it was funner. We didn't have a care or a worry. But as we grow older, Christmas is colder, and the kids are running off in a hurry. Growing old, I wonder who'll marry me. Growing old, I wonder where they'll bury me. Hasn't it been fun growing old? Sometimes I drift away, back to yesterday, but never wanna miss tomorrow. How could I ask for more? I'm just grateful for the time and space we borrow. Whittle and diddle, tinker and fiddle, and read the Sunday Fun.